Christina Universe Citizen presents Knee Planet U, Episode 103, August 27, 2022. The Cosmic Design of Planet U. We coexist in a world populated by billions of relative strangers and their fault-finding scenarios, most of whom have no conception there possibly could be a differently coordinated single conceptual system in common language for systemic thoughts accounting for metaphysical-physical universes, anticipatory realities, referential to the cosmic design's family of generalized principles. And yet, the cosmic design's eternally generalized principles remain unknown to most of the people everywhere on Earth. The omission can be compared to Planet U, designing that inspires a true democracy while referencing our Buckminster Fuller's Synergetics discoveries, which include nature's coordinate system. Therefore, a differently coordinated systemic thought and language is knowable on Planet U, coincidental to a conceptuality of the minimum thinkable set, structural pattern, integrity of universe, in reiterating recognitions that, in quotes, the same structural laws of universe operate at both macro and micro levels, end quote, as the structural laws of planet Earth. While most of the people have no idea of planet Earth's 10,000 frequency geodesics, it is the perfect prototype for Planet U's angle and frequency consideration. Synergetics 790.23 and 501.101. Naturally, intellectually, conceptually, Planet U does not anticipate subordinating the compositions of evolving intellection to fault-finding episodes. Such a fault-finding system emulatively exploits scenarios of least economically behaving systems relative to unity and self in universe. Its episodes strategically depend on inherited words from the old world's womb of permitted ignorance. The resulting interpersonal communications place a redundant burden on humans everywhere on Earth. We are evolving humans of a mind. Logically, it is not exclusively but inclusively the eternal omniscient mind, Eom, that on Earth, nevertheless, can become targeted pawns controlled by the PRJWBCS, politics, religion, justice, war, belief complex schemes. PRJW multi-personality characteristics, some of which are skilled and talented at exploiting the value of doing harm specific to the J factor, as it likewise profits at someone's expense despite not recognizing and admitting its own perpetually self-other interfering omnifarious personality aspects, depending whether justice is perceived and used as an ally or antagonist, a proponent or opponent as a noun or a verb. Planet U is a unique utopia. So as metaphysical intellect conceptualizes the communication essentials for supportive life, anticipatory mind can uniquely spell the first letter of non-redundant words in uppercase to emphasize the importance of identifying their use as important words. Examples: unique, unity, universe, ubiquitous, unit, unitary, unlearning, unpredicted, unselfishness, unstructuring, unweighable, unwinding, us. Planet Earth's economies are controlled by the power that perpetuates educated ignorance and omitting what will always be true of any and all structure, which is the truth of energy events of atoms occurring in pure principle. The anticipatory governing system has special case scenario continuities on Planet U by consciously coordinated design. Science anticipates structuring omnicomprehensive, omnirational interrelationships, primarily, experimentally, hypothetically, and theoretically. The personality of a nation is also underway throughout the universal communications process. This personality can be subsequent to obsoleting the obsoletable, which in total are the potential revisions of the inherited detriment from the womb of permitted ignorance. Such ignorance goes hand in hand with increasing the tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracies of observation and articulation. This means literally constraining our humanity's evolution intellection by two-dimensional imaging and predominantly three-dimensional reenacting episodes, especially concerning perpetuating the educated ignorance that typically does not start with universe with synergy, consciousness of the whole, WHOLE, but instead starts with the inherited and other imaginable parts, expecting the irrational behavior of the component part to predict the whole, WHOLE. Specifically, this is regarding structure and relative indifference to the truth of compression and tension, divergence and convergence, and many always and only coexisting complementarities that physics has found. Disregarding the complementarities, ignoring fourth, fifth, sixth, and more dimensioning, further confuses the reactionary personality's survival proficiency. Such survival can advance the skills and talents for structuring enmity states of mind, not amicable states of mind. It holds true for interactions between the simple and or complex problems and simple and or complex solutions, as it does between divergent forces and convergent forces. Atoms are energy events. So, not knowing that any and all structure consists entirely of atoms, which in principle are recurring energy events, interfere with consciousness evolution. It can perpetuate the educated ignorance concerning the positive and negative asymmetries that differentiate the problems of consciousness evolution. Aspects of inherited language use as the reenacting articulations of such absences of forethought continue as humans individualize, systemizing the human condition while unknowingly omitting the integral truth of us, humans, a highly evolving intelligent species correlating to consciousness evolution. Fortunately, humans can iterate, reiterate, and remember that the only discipline is self-discipline, while recalling that the continuity of conscious life becomes personality. Awareness of personality as a product of complex periodic interactions that are knowable as cycles or periodic recurrences of a higher frequency order logically is relevant to the most economical accommodation of proclivities, phases, and disciplines listed in Synergetics 201.11. This means applicably to the anatomical, psychological, metaphysical, physical, and governing systems least or most economical way of behaving relative to unity and self in universe. The universe omni embraces all that is relevant and referential to the generalized laws which govern it. The non-simultaneous conceptualities of universe ought to inspire manifesting the generalized principle by evolving humanity's adapting to the manifest condition as it takes form. The manifest human condition is not limited to precedent setting, irrational substances, irrational substantiation, irrationally derived economic initiatives, since the maximum economy in every special case environmental condition consists entirely of inanimate atoms. Then, awareness of structural systems as energy events in principle provides the human imagination's ability to formulate conceptually with a differently referenced thought language other than the inherited forms, many of which are detrimental to the core. It goes to the depths of one's cultivated being as a product of the educating environment. Contemporary generations, similarly to the predecessor, adapt to the manifest form. But the adaptations are compromised communications that agree to cultivate and perpetuate educated ignorance of human events, EISEDP. Experiences, intuition, speculations, experiments, discoveries, productions, differentiated from the energy events that occur in pure principle. As you and I observe by reading Synergetics 792.04 while incorporating the terminology in an individualized developing composition, the resulting articulations obviously are dissimilar to previously adapted to communication terminology. The synergetically derived terminology includes awareness of energy events of which all structure consists, which is entirely of atoms. Once informed of universe to accurately describe the most relevant metaphysical conceptioning in respect to consciously coordinating thought and language. New awareness arises that includes the generalized pattern integrities. Beyond mere oversight, this omitted relevance by educated ignorance literally and technically disadvantages awareness of the masses as human inhabitants and awareness of masses as the amount of matter an object has. In parentheses, matter, gravity, is to radiation as knots of rope are to coils of rope. Synergetics 529.04. By adapting to inadequately derived and inaccurately devised information while superficially advantaging the most advanced technology, nonetheless exploits irrationally devised economies. Such economies historically supplant consciousness evolution's awareness with the oppositely affected remedy, so that the force of a weapon as an intended annihilation, for example, pushes the entity away, alienates, disassociating self and other with divergent compression. This is, instead of pulling to war, the center of exact balance, the entity is pushed away, physically self-annihilating the otherwise cohesively inclined, tensionally coherent, amenable nature that is conducive to the integral freedoms enjoyed by equanimity. Metaphysical mind's consciousness of equanimity is conceptually aware of the vector equilibrium and the tetrahedral models in the isotropic vector matrix. Synergetics 201.11. The knowledge is a direct conceptual correlation to what comprises all the lattices of the atom. Synergetics 201.03. Awareness can be subsequent to Synergetics' single conceptual system, common language, and accounting for both the metaphysical generalized conception fields of thought and physical special case frequency. It also integrates awareness of AAA NOEA, an absolute accommodation network of energy articulations, which more obviously includes energy events occurring in pure principle, correlative to structuring omnicomprehensive, omniconsiderate, omnirational, anticipatory design sciences, Planet U, and a true democracy as primarily tensional logic. Planet Earth's quasi-democracies use compression as its primary logic in a self-perpetuating educated ignorance of the cosmic design. Thank you for your individual focus, if that happens to be the case, and your continued interest and curiosity in Planet U and this important research project, subjective to objective, experiential, experimental, anticipatory design science, intention to manifest a true democracy while exploring the prospects for designing Planet U as an evolution process of a predominantly metaphysical objective. Relevant links are provided at the end of the video podcast. It is a contributing effort to the universal communications and continuity of conscious life relative to my extrapolating those resources into these developing and ongoing essays. Every time I read or say continuity of conscious life, it reminds me of R. Buckminster Fuller's 1949 quotation from his essay, Total Thinking, in quotes. The continuity of conscious life becomes personality as a product of complex periodic interactions known as cycles or periodic recurrences of a higher frequency order, end quote. And it seems to be the case today in year 2022 for individuals and the personality of a nation.